is Ari, and this is Talking Technique. Today, we're going to be talking about pentatonic patterns that use hammer-ons and pull-ups. Pentatonic patterns are so great on the bass because I have 2 notes per string. 2 notes, 2 fingers. Or in case of a hammer-on, 1, 2, right? Or a pull-off. I'm going to show you 2 pentatonic shapes. There are 5 total. I'm going to show you 2, and we're going to be dealing with the major pentatonic scale. I'd like to give things goofy names because I have seen that helps learning. You give something a goofy name, it tends to stick. So here is the pattern, the shape I call the hexagon. Obviously, this shape could be a G major pentatonic shape as well as an E minor pentatonic shape, depending on where I start. If I declare the G the root, then this is my major pentatonic shape. If I declare the E the root, then it's the same shape, just a different starting point and point of reference for all the notes within that scale. I always like to not go from root to root, but from the lowest possible note in that position, that's part of my scale, to the highest possible note in that position, that's part of my scale. Hence, you were starting on G, happens to be the lowest note, and going all the way up to the B, okay? That's the hexagon, or also known as pattern 1. And then I'm going to show you another one, and that's the next one up, and you will see in a minute why, because in those shapes that I will be showing you where we'll be using hammer-ons and pull-offs, this comes in handy. So here's pattern 2. It's the next one up, so obviously since pattern 1 had all these notes here, they're going to be here as well. And on this pattern, great fingering is to start with the second finger, which makes it a little unintuitive sometimes, but here it is, 2 4 2 4 2 4 2 4. That's fingerings now. 1 4, and I call this one the boot. I call it the boot because here is the shaft of the boot and here's the sole of the boot. So it's easy to remember it that way. Okay, since the pentatonic scale features 2 notes per string, I can do hammer-ons and pull-offs very easily like that. And since this is a hammer-on, I'm only playing the first note with my right hand. Okay, the rest I'm doing by hammering on. So that was hammer-on and pull-off. But there is something I cannot do. If I wanted to hammer on from every single note, that's when I need my second pattern. I can hammer on from the G to the A, but now I want to hammer on from the A to the B. If I do that between 2 strings, it's not going to work very well. So I have to do it on the same string, which brings me up 1 pattern. And then I can play that through the entire scale. And I can also do that with pull-offs, of course. Hammer-ons. And that stuff is great for slapping. And you can also do that with pull-offs. So it's important that when you do those shifts, that you do them as clean as possible and as fast as possible. So it really helps to have these shapes one by one under your belt so that you can shift between them really easily, that you're aware where the fingers go, because here it's 2 4 2 4 and 1 4 2 4 1 4 2 4 1 3 1 4. Okay, so just sort of have that in your mind. Think of the shapes, the boot and the hexagon and all that. It does help. Now we can bring in one more variation into the equation, and that's dead notes. What we can do is play after each hammer-on a dead note. So like this. And when you do that with slapping, can reverse that to pull-ups. And now we can mix it. Go up with hammer-ons, go down with pull-ups. And now we can reverse that. Go up with pull-ups, go down with hammer-ons. So I have a groove for you, which is also in your PDF, where you will see the very precise directions as to where those notes should be connected or slurred. So to us bass players, that oftentimes can translate best in terms of hammer-ons and pull-offs. And in order to follow these instructions, you need to space the groove out between the two different positions. It's not possible to do that. So we're going to put into action what I just showed you earlier. One way to look at this groove is that every time you see a slur in the score, you need to shift. This will give you some ideas to come up with your own variations of this idea, which again is to be not dependent upon the shape that you are playing for hammer-ons and pull-offs, but rather be free of that so that you can hammer-on, pull-off any note that you feel for musical reasons rather than by what the fingers dictate. If you'd like to learn more about pentatonics on the bass, I have a course out with TrueFire. It's a DVD or download. It's called Pentatonic Playground for Bass, and you can get it on my website, arisbassblog.com. I also talk about pentatonics in my book, Music Theory for the Bass Player. Thanks for watching. Cheers.